I'm really embarrassed to say that I filmed this whole video a couple days ago, and in transferring the file from my camera to my computer, I corrupted the file and it crashed my whole entire editing software, so I had to re-download everything. I felt like this video was something I really did want to post still because it's something that has weighed heavily on my mind and my heart for a few years now. If I can share just like the conversation, the dialogue that's going on in my mind right now, I feel like it might help other people who might be feeling the same way. It's so easy when you're feeling this down about something, it's really easy to think that you're the only one who feels that way. And I don't want anyone to feel that way. And if anyone can relate to this, like, then it's worth it to me to make this video. This video kind of, I think it could be classified as kind of like a rant slash just a chat with you guys about where I'm at in life and how I'm feeling. I want to talk about the pressure of just like being in your 20s and comparing yourself to what other people are doing in their 20s. I think your 20s are a period of just tremendous growth, and that growth can look different for different people. The pressure of your 20s is initially put on you because of the fact that we as a society expect kids really, to plan out what they want to do with the rest of their life when they're 17, 18 years old. And I could see 17-year-old, 18-year-old Serena walking down the street and I wouldn't recognize her. She's a completely different person than I am now. Today, on this day when I'm filming this video, I am currently 23 years old. So I am 4 years into my 20s and I've been out of high school for 5 years. That doesn't seem like a long time, but at the same time, it makes me sound like really old. I can't believe that I was expected to have the rest of my life planned out when I was that old, because I did have a plan. I wanted to do, I wanted to go to college and I wanted to study this and I wanted to do this and I wanted to get married and I wanted to have kids and all this stuff. I had like according to a timeline that I wanted to do it. And when the very first thing was kind of thrown out the window, like this isn't gonna happen on this timeline, it was devastating to me and it made me feel like a failure. Starting out in my 20s, I was in a relationship that was not good for me at all and I should not have been in at all. And my mental health was deteriorating. I was losing my friends. I felt like a failure. I couldn't afford college. And that's like what I think was the biggest pressure on me in my 20s, was to go to college, finish college, get your degree, then get a job. I don't think that we should put so much pressure on the whole going to college thing. That's just my opinion. I just don't think that it's for everyone, it definitely wasn't for me, but I felt the pressure to do it because I had this plan. I became really jealous of the people whose parents or student loans or whatever means they could come by could pay for their college and they didn't have to work. I just felt like I was going nowhere. I feel like I was working every single day. Every penny that I made from when I was working was going towards school, and even then I didn't have enough money to afford school, so I'd still have to have like my parents help. I took out student loans. It's really hard to have that work-school balance. I am jealous of anyone who can get it right and do it. I think it takes a very understanding boss and a good working relationship there, because sometimes you're just burnt out, you can't do it. I personally started prioritizing work over school, which you should not do because you're spending so much money on school. This should really be your priority, but it's like, to pay for school, I had to kind of prioritize going to work. Do you know what I mean? When they say that college is like a full-time job, it really is. My manager would call me, he'd be like, yo, so-and-so called off, do you want an extra shift today? And I would have class, but I would like wait, I'd be like, well, I do have class, but like it's just a lecture, so like maybe I should go to work because I will make more money and then I could be able to pay for school. It was just such an unhealthy balance. So that's kind of been like my 20s so far. And then when I decided to join the military, that was like another whole thing. And then like going through a breakup was another whole thing. The learning, the growing, it keeps coming. In my opinion, and like I said, this is just my opinion. You don't have to have the same opinion as me. I think your 20s should be for you, period. Your 20s are for being selfish. They're for doing the things that you want to do so that later in life, when you have a family, when you have a husband or a wife, and you have kids, and you have other people that you have to put before yourself, you're not looking back thinking, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that. You're not feeling like you missed out on anything, because in your 20s, when you should have been prioritizing what you want to do, whether that's getting an education, getting a job, starting a career, you don't want to look back and think, I should have done that. You want to know that you did your best, you tried your best, you did what you wanted to do, you have all those things out of the way, and now you can focus on what really matters. Everyone prioritizes something different in their 20s. And like I said, when I was, starting out in my 20s, I was in a relationship, and it was a very committed relationship, so I feel like I made a lot of my decisions based on what would be best for the two of us, which you are supposed to do. Like, that's not anything crazy. You are supposed to do that when you are committed to another person and you want to spend the rest of your lives together. But there's a part of me that will always feel like, even though I'm still in my 20s, like, girl, you still got time. There's like part of me that always will think like, I wish I would have just been single this whole time because I could have been prioritizing just the things I want. When I decided to join the military, the person that I was in a relationship with wasn't very supportive, didn't want me to do it, and I was kind of just like, you know what? I know that we always make decisions together, but like, this is something that I just want to do, I need to do, I gotta do it, gotta go, peace. Not really, but it's just like, this is the time. If you're gonna do it, this is the time to do it. I don't even think you can join the military after you're 30, so I think this period of your life it's very easy to play the comparison game. You log on to your handy dandy Facebook page and you see that there are people you went to high school with, people you graduated with, people who are the same exact age as you, and there's a group of them over here who have children and are having babies, and there's a group over here who are getting married or getting engaged, and there's a group over here who went straight into their dream job, they're living it up, they have enough money to buy a house, buy all these things, buy a nice car. There's people over here who graduated from college and have a degree. There's people over here who are going to medical school, doing great things, and you just feel like, I'm doing none of those things. Like, you just feel like you should be doing these things that they're doing, right? Because they're your age. Like, this is their plan. Why isn't like everything going according to my plan? It's so frustrating. I think that's the word, because I'm not angry. I'm not really particularly sad or upset about it. I'm just frustrated, because it feels like when you compare yourself to other people, which you shouldn't do, but when you do, it feels like you're kind of moving in slow motion. When like the characters in Scooby-Doo are like running in place for like 20 minutes before they actually start going anywhere, and you're just like, Shaggy, the ghost is going to kill you because you aren't going anywhere. Like, that's how I feel right now in my 20s, because I feel like I'm making these decisions, I'm making these moves, I'm doing these things, and I feel like they're all for the benefit of my future, but yet I still feel like I'm in the same place that I was 4 years ago, still in my parents' house, still doing this, still doing that. I think it's only really truly frustrating when people call other people out for it, because when people try to like brag about the things that they have or the things that they do or don't do, it kind of gets really annoying, because it's like, you don't know everyone's story, you don't know what everyone's been through, you don't know what everyone's mindset is, like what they want, what their goals are. Like, a quick example of this is like, I see a lot of people kind of shaming those of us, I'm gonna put myself in this category, who kind of go out and consume alcohol and kind of have a wild phase, because you're like going out to the bars. People always are like, why don't you grow up? You're so immature. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Blah, 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 blah. A lot of people that I went to high school with started drinking when they were 16 years old, and so they had that wild party phase in their high school years. I never started drinking until college. Like, I never went to those kind of parties in high school. I wasn't invited to those kind of parties in high school. This is like my wild phase right now, because I can legally drink and I'm allowed to consume alcoholic beverages, okay? So just like, let me have my moment. you genuinely cannot compare someone else's chapter like 25 to your chapter 10. We also assume that like other people are comparing us, and I've just learned to like not even care. I felt the pressure and I felt so much judgment when I kind of did have like all this stuff lined up, and then when that all just went to shit, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I'm living for myself. I'm living for what I want. The things that I want in life changes every month. Every month I have a new dream career I want, or a new this or a new that. Like, I'm just growing and learning, and that's what your 20s are for. And we shouldn't put so much pressure on just having our shit together. Like, I feel like the whole having your shit together concept is like a circle. You feel like you have your shit together, and then one or two bad things happen and it kind of throws you a curveball, and you're kind of like, then you kind of like hit your low point and you're like, what is even the point of living? You know, I feel like I'm never going to be able to adult or do anything on my own. And then you get back to feeling like you have your shit together. I mean, it's just like, it's always going to feel that way. We just shouldn't put so much pressure on just having our lives together, and just live them. Just live your life. At me. Those bitches who won't just go live their life, that's me. I'm adding myself right now, and I want to have everything go according to plan, and I've just had to learn to let go of that, because things are never gonna go according to plan, and that's okay. If you guys are still watching at the end of this video, at the end of this rant, at the end of this TED Talk that I just gave you, no, but seriously, if you guys are still watching, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that if you ever feel this way, if you ever feel like this immense pressure when you're in your 20s, or even just like as you're starting to graduate high school and like emerge into adulthood, I just want you to know that if you're feeling this pressure that I'm feeling right now, and all the time, every hour of the day. No, not really. But if you guys are feeling that way too, just know that you're not alone. You're not the only person who feels that way. So many people feel that way, and it's okay to feel that way, but just don't let it consume you, because it's not that deep. It ain't that deep. You don't have to keep the pressure on you. You can like let go of some of it and just feel relieved, relaxed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you sometime soon with a new video. Bye!